Hi folks, I'm attorney Roger P. Foley, and I'm here to talk to you about misdemeanor battery. Most folks, mistakenly, I guess whether they're watching Law and Order or something, they always talk about, I've been assaulted. If you were assaulted, then someone talked about whooping your rear end, right? If you were battered in the state of Florida, you were touched or struck against your will. So let's talk about some examples. Right? Well, you know what? Let's first talk about what's the charge. Well, misdemeanor battery, punishable by up to 1 year in the county jail. Doesn't mean that that's what you're going to get, but if convicted, right, you'd be facing up to 1 year in the county jail and a fine. I have no clue what the fine is. $1,000. $1,000 fine. Woohoo! All right, so let me explain to you the kinds of cases that have come across my desk. I've had a gay gentleman walking out of a store, and he says to another gentleman, "See you later, sweetie," and he touches him. Just like this, gives him a little pat on the shoulder. He was charged with misdemeanor battery. Because misdemeanor battery, what the prosecutor needs to prove is that it was the defendant intentionally touched or hit another person against their will. So if I go over to you and pat you on the shoulder and say, "Hey, how you doing?" You, believe it or not, can have me charged with battery. Right? Obviously, if I come over and I sock you in the mouth, well, that wasn't a good punch. Obviously, I boxed for 17 years. Boom! If I punched you in the face, right, that would be a battery too. However, if I punched it in the face at 250 plus pounds, I'd break something, and I'd be charged with felony battery, punishable by 5 years in prison. All right? So let's talk about things that can occur. The defenses to these cases. Well, if you have mutual combatants, I'm in a bar, you're in a bar, we get into an argument of the Jets versus the Dolphins, whatever the case may be, we get into some argument, we both toss our hands up, and we both start beating the crap out of each other. Well, that's mutual combatants. Usually, not always, right? I can't predict the future, but usually, folks, in my 11 years of experience, when you have mutual combatants, both parties willing to touch and batter one another, the state usually doesn't go forward. Because mutual combatants, there's a defense to that. Juries don't want to convict if both people, we don't know who threw the first punch, or both people put up their hands and said, "Hey, let's fight." That's mutual combatants. If someone accidentally touches you, let's say you're in an elevator, it's tightly crowded, and someone accidentally gives you a little bit of elbow. That's a defense. It's got to be the intentionally touching or striking against someone's will. So there's a mens rea element. What do I mean? There's an intent. There's an intent. I had to intentionally, hit you or harm you. So if I'm not intentionally doing it and it's not against your will, then it's not. So if we're in a boxing match and we go over to the gym, right? We go down to Palm Beach Boxing, or I don't want to say Palm Beach Boxing. If we go down to the gym that I volunteer at sometimes, down off military way, Bulldog Boxing, and we get in the ring, we put headgear on, and we have a fight. Folks, obviously there was a hit, right? There was a touching, but it's not against the will, so that's not illegal. So I wanted to explain to you just a little bit today about misdemeanor battery. Misdemeanor battery can be sealed, can be expunged. It can be expunged if the case is dismissed. It can be sealed if you take a plea to it. So I'm attorney Roger P. Foley. If you have questions, you have comments, write me, give me a call, and I'd be happy to answer your questions in regards to misdemeanor battery. Have a great day.